A new global arms race has begun. This time, it's not fought with nuclear weapons or vast armies. It's a silent war waged in the digital shadows of our world. The prize is not land or resources. It is something far more fundamental: control over the future of human intelligence itself. For decades, it was the stuff of science fiction, a distant dream whispered about in university laboratories and the back rooms of tech companies. Now, that future has arrived, and it is unfolding faster than anyone could have ever predicted. This isn't a story about killer robots from a Hollywood movie. It's a story about a technology so powerful, it is poised to reshape every aspect of our civilization, and the titanic struggle to command it. The most powerful nations and corporations on earth are now locked in a frantic, high-stakes competition. Billions of dollars are being poured into a technology that few truly understand but all desperately want to own. This race is accelerating every single day, fueled by a potent mixture of ambition, fear, and the immense promise of power. It's a conflict playing out in secret data centers, corporate boardrooms, and the corridors of government. The world is being quietly rebuilt, line by line, by an intelligence that is not our own. The question is no longer if artificial intelligence will change everything, but who will be in control when it does. This is the story of the AI war that nobody can stop. For most of its history, artificial intelligence was an academic pursuit, a quiet and steady march of progress confined to the patient world of research. They built systems that could play chess, recognize images, translate languages, but these were specialized, brittle intelligences. They were powerful tools, but they were not minds. They lacked the spark, the fluidity, the general understanding of the world that makes human intelligence so unique and powerful. Behind the scenes, however, something fundamental was shifting. Researchers were exploring a new path inspired by the very structure of the human brain. They called them neural networks. For years, these networks were limited. But as the digital world expanded and processing power grew exponentially, these digital brains began to awaken. They started to see, they started to listen. They started to understand the torrent of information humanity was creating. The whispers of a new kind of intelligence were beginning to grow louder, unheard by the public, but listened to with rapt attention inside the world's most advanced tech labs. On November 30th, 2022, the quiet race suddenly became a global spectacle. OpenAI released their creation to the public, giving it a simple, unassuming name, ChatGPT. And in a matter of days, it ignited a firestorm that would engulf the entire tech industry and capture the world's imagination. It was a holy cow moment for the entire planet. People asked it to write poetry, debug computer code, explain complex scientific theories. It was more than just a chatbot, it felt like a glimpse into the future. Inside the sprawling campus of Google, the success of ChatGPT was not a cause for celebration. It was a code red. Google's answer was Bard, a conversational AI powered by large language models trained on web data and Google research. It drafted answers, summarized information, wrote code, and pulled fresh context from search. Suddenly, Google's core business, its search engine, looked vulnerable for the first time in decades. If an AI chatbot could provide direct, comprehensive answers, why would anyone need to click through a list of blue links? The code red triggered a frantic scramble. Google rushed to release its own competitor, Bard, in a hasty demonstration that backfired, containing a factual error that wiped over $100 billion from the company's market value in a single day. After a rocky debut, Bard improved with PLM2, then the Gemini models, adding better reasoning, multimodal input, coding help, and integrations across Google products like Search, Workspace, and Android. The panic at Google cascaded into a global investment frenzy. The race was now a stampede. As the AI race intensified, it became clear this was not just a battle between faceless corporations. It was a deeply personal contest driven by the ambitions and philosophies of a new generation of tech titans. At the center of this storm stands Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. A soft-spoken but fiercely ambitious strategist, Altman transformed a non-profit research lab into a global powerhouse. On the other side is a figure who needs no introduction, Elon Musk, an early co-founder of OpenAI. Musk left citing disagreements over its direction. He became a vocal critic of unchecked AI development, warning of existential risks. And then there is Mark Zuckerberg. After a costly pivot to the metaverse, the Meta CEO has aggressively refocused his empire on AI, championing an open-source approach to commoditize the market and prevent any single company from a permanent monopoly. The battle between these tech billionaires is a fundamental war of ideologies. On one side, the accelerationists like Altman and Zuckerberg believe the fastest path to safe, beneficial AI is to push development as fast as possible. On the other side, the doomers like Musk see unchecked superintelligence as humanity's greatest existential threat, like summoning a demon we cannot command. This ideological chasm shapes corporate strategy and influences government policy. Accelerationists warn that slowing down risks ceding leadership to rivals like China. Doomers counter that they are racing toward a cliff while blindfolded by profit. The competition is more than business. It is a battle for economic dominance, ideological influence, and control over the operating system of our future society. The world can only watch as they decide what to build. Beneath the philosophical debates lies a hard physical reality. Artificial intelligence is a product of immense physical infrastructure, and at its heart is the semiconductor chip, specifically the GPU. A GPU graphics processing unit is a chip with thousands of small cores that run many calculations in parallel, ideal for graphics and AI. Originally built for games, they now power the AI gold rush. Suddenly, one company was thrust into the center of the global economy, Nvidia. They had a near monopoly on the single most important resource in the AI arms race. As the chip war escalates, the world's attention has focused on one small island. This is Taiwan. On this island, a company called TSMC, Nvidia designs the chips, TSMC manufactures them. Over 90% of the world's most advanced logic chips are made by this one company on this one island. That geographic concentration is the most critical single point of failure in the global economy. Beijing sees Taiwan as a renegade province, and the prospect of a disrupted chip supply is a nightmare for Washington, Brussels, and Tokyo. The AI arms race is now a geopolitical struggle over hardware and geography. The silent digital war for intelligence is entangled with territory, military power, and the threat of open conflict. As the race for AI supremacy accelerates, a more personal shockwave is rippling through the global workforce. This new wave of automation is not coming for the assembly line, it is coming for the office cubicle. Roles in customer support, data analysis, and paralegal work are being transformed. For companies, this is an irresistible opportunity. For millions of people, it represents profound uncertainty. Even the architects of the digital age are not immune. The very skill that built the AI revolution could become one of its first high-profile casualties. The ghost in the machine is holding up a mirror, forcing us to ask what exactly makes human creativity special. Beyond job displacement, a darker capability has emerged. We are entering an era of deepfakes and mass-produced misinformation where the very concept of truth is under assault. When combined with billions of cameras, AI creates a surveillance apparatus of unimaginable scope. It is the realization of a surveillance state that would make George Orwell's 1984 look quaint. The dark side of AI culminates in its most terrifying application, the automation of violence. The decision to take a human life, the most profound act of war, is being delegated to an algorithm. We stand now in the twilight of our own creation, caught between the promise of an unimaginable dawn and the threat of an endless night. In our relentless pursuit of progress, we have ignited a fire that now burns with a life of its own, a fire that no single person, company, or nation can control. Will we use this power to solve the problems that have plagued us for millennia? Or will our ancient human flaws lead us to forge the tools of our own destruction? The technology itself is indifferent. It is a mirror reflecting back at us our highest aspirations and our darkest impulses. We have unleashed a force that may well be the final invention humanity ever needs to make. It is a Promethean fire handed down to us not from the gods, but from the quiet hum of our own machines. The AI arms race is not a war we can win. It is a storm we must learn to navigate together, a current that is pulling all of humanity into an unknown and unknowable future. We are now, all of us, living inside the experiment, and the only question left is what we will become by the time it is over.